How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, Faze Crypto. Today, I want to dedicate this video to another discussion on Cardano and talking about altcoins. And I think that it's something that's often overlooked right now. While Bitcoin's been getting a lot of this attention, certainly there's a lot of fear and greed right now. More so fear than greed, but I suppose the cryptocurrency space is always a balance of fear and greed, and ultimately it all boils down to whether you were on the right side of the wick or whether you were on the wrong side. The green or the red side pretty much determines whether you're going to be dealing with the emotion of fear or greed, and pretty much it's all about balancing the two. And I think that right now it's interesting to talk about something like Cardano. I mean, of course, we were all the way down to the total fear at one point. Now we've started to move back into what appears to be somewhat of a neutral zone, in my opinion, and I think that it all is in part due to what we saw with Backed saying it will launch September 23rd after receiving a trust charter, and it's definitely interesting to see how the space is different things coming in waves. Of course, still, Bitcoin illegal or restricted in multiple countries. In other words, it's against the rules to memorize 12 words in a particular order. That's kind of a funny tweet right there. Give them a retweet. But ultimately, I think that it is interesting to see how people have abandon a lot of the altcoins. I mean, we see Litecoin now down to $75. But one of the things that I wanted to address is, the fact that there is never really a coin that's dead. When people say, "Oh, Litecoin's dead," the fact of the matter, if a crypto is still being mined, it still perhaps does have a future. Now, I know many people out there are holding some rather large bags of a lot of these different altcoins, and that's pretty much the name of the game. I mean, is HODL, right? When you think about it, it's I remember seeing that meme that showed all the different things that somebody who's hodling has to wait through, and of course, it's always interesting to see how when things all start, crypto gets more attention or something like that. We see the bull runs and stuff happen, and there's always going to be people who are quick to jump on the altcoins. I mean, we've seen in the past something like Neo up at $100, $150, I believe, at its all-time high, and now still with so much room to fall down. That's sort of is weighing the risk reward of these things. But I think that Cardano, is an interesting technology for me. As far as just seeing all the things that Cardano has achieved for itself up until this point, and moving, really looking forward, it is interesting. Around Cardano's conception, we were seeing it at all those decimal points over, and now, of course, we still, in terms of Satoshis, but still, that's just something you got to pay attention to, and still, 4 cents, I'm waiting for Cardano to get a little bit cheaper before because I expect the Bitcoin price still to go down in the short term. I think that capitulation is still that we're in that zone right now, and I'll be doing some more in-depth sort of technical analysis in perspective. It is interesting to see. Yang being one of those establishment sort of cryptocurrency advocates that I do love to see. I mean, as far as how a lot of these different things have been disappointing, but still, Bitcoin futures set to launch. That will be interesting. I know that many people are awaiting that, and it would be definitely interesting to see, right now. And of course, I think that there is a very interesting future for a decentralized public blockchain. And although, in the United States right now in particular, people more than likely don't have as much of a need for the cryptocurrencies and the basically the technological innovation is more or less one of those things that you see in developing countries and so forth, which are on the come up. And when we want to talk about Cardano and how they've positioned themselves to really take advantage of a lot of these different things, I think that it will be interesting, and I think that transparency and all these other aspects of that Cardano has going for itself are going to be interesting variables, as we go and we enter this next stage, as far as adoption and when we want to talk about what we're expecting to see, it will be interesting. People talking about Monero and Cardano in that same conversation. This article I wanted to bring up as well. I think Monero is definitely a crypto that I need to talk about too in a future video. I think out of all the altcoins, the privacy technology is definitely one that does stand to have a lot of benefit there in the long term. In particular, with what we see, with Bitcoin bans and so forth, it is one of those things that you can't help but seeing the the light at the end of the tunnel. There's no better deal right now than a 5-cent ADA from this tweeter. Of course. He does sort of touch on one of the interesting things. I mean, it's sort of an interesting little paradox in the cryptocurrency world, because people don't necessarily realize what they have until it's gone. But definitely interested to see our man Charles Hodgkinson, though, and what we're going to be expecting, as far as as things move forward, while we see cryptocurrency making its way. But of course, he tweets that we are shipping 1.6 Cardano update over the next few days. Send some screenshots, and that'll be definitely interesting to see that unravel too. And I know a lot of people are excited, as Cardano does make its move. I know it can be frustrating at times with cryptocurrency and these things, but hell, I think this is why I like to make these videos and pay attention to these baby Bitcoins, and make sure that you send this content to all those Bitcoin fanboy. I know people out there have family members who are strong Bitcoin advocates, but often overlook the altcoins because they are a gamble. I'm not gonna lie. This whole channel is built on just that level of transparency and trying to just tell you guys what's real. I mean, personally, I'll always keep you guys updated. Make sure you guys follow us at our Twitter. It's at CryptoTuber on Twitter, of course, as always. Remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, this video is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. Make sure you go and do your own research. But yeah, overall, my opinion on Cardano, I still remain fairly excited, bullish in the long term. Of course, in the short term, I expect to see Bitcoin, capitulation. Not much though. You gotta be on that. I'm sure that there are people out there who are planning on selling and then buying back at a cheaper price. Some more successful than others, but the price has sort of been all over the place, hopping, bunny hopping. I believe right now it's the $10,300, $10,400 range, probably by the time this video gets to air. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens as far as Bitcoin's capitulation, because we have failed to establish a higher high right now, so the likelihood of seeing a lower high, and then of course further capitulation, moving downward. I mean, we have passed a lot of those different key resistance points. We want to talk about Bitcoin, but we'll save that for the live stream. So make sure that you guys subscribe, and of course share this video with any Cardano advocates. Overall, I am bullish on Cardano. I mean, I think the technology does have some power, have some rocket fuel, to say the least. I'll see you guys next video, though. Stay relevant.